Kevin Feige, let a brother play Cyclops. I'm wilding. I'm wilding, Kevin. I'm wilding. Put me in the middle of Green Grand Ember Frost. I'm wilding. Smitty,
Mikey,
welcome back.
it's good to be back.
It is good to be back. What have you
How
been
you
up to?
feeling?
How's life? Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's just in the flow of things. Summer's almost over. It's a little sad, but I'm excited to get back to school, I guess. And
Same.
you know,
Big things planned for this upcoming year.
yeah, Temple QB starting job, right?
I think it might be position battle. I'm not sure, but I forgot what coach said, but I should be. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, just making
Yeah.
sure, just make sure. But yeah,
Yeah.
feel good to be back. Um, Sad that summer's almost over, but it's been
But
a quick
listen,
summer.
but listen. Summer's only beautiful when you know winter's coming.
You're right, absolutely right.
Yeah. Just let that sink in for a second.
Yeah, but I'm excited for this episode. We had a great episode last time, having a LeBron draft, the
We
hot
did. We
takes, but
we had a lot of fun with that.
I honestly arguably might be more excited for this episode just because there's so much things on the agenda for us. Obviously, a lot of movies going around, a couple of interesting things going on in baseball. But I guess let's get into the swing of things. We're gonna do movie of the, or I guess movie of the month at this point now.
Yeah.
But we're gonna disclude two movies from the list. We're gonna disclude The Odyssey and Spider-Man: Brand New Day. And don't worry, we're gonna save that for just a couple moments down the road. We're just gonna be talking about those later in their own respective things because they absolutely deserve it. And Beans, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but they do deserve their own time to be spent being talked about.
100%. 100%.
Okay, so we'll get into the movie of the month. I'm gonna do a list just like I always do once we have a lot of movies. You want me to start, or you want to start?
Um, you start because I didn't do that many movies, so it's just
Okay.
yeah.
So I have five movies that I watched. The last one for me is obviously gonna be High School Musical. We kind of just threw it
Mhm.
on uh when I was up in Syracuse. I think one of them haven't watched it before, so that's why we watched it, and it was just random. You know, Honestly, looking back on it and seeing like all the basketball practices, what
Shout out Roman Reigns, great SummerSlam night two match for Seth Rollins, and still acknowledged. All right, continue.
when like seeing all like the basketball practices and when they're singing, I'm like, yo, these guys actually didn't get anything done in basketball practice. They were literally just fooling around. Like, what is this? But I mean, it's like a kid movie
Real
essentially. But
quick, no, real quick, because we gotta talk about one of the greatest fumbles in movie history. Troy Bolton turned down a D1 scholarship because he wants to pursue a life in whatever it was. Troy, you're a 5'6" kid from Albuquerque, New Mexico, Troy. They don't hand scholarships out on trees, Troy. What are you doing? Take the scholarship. Anyways, I just had to get that out of the way.
yeah,
Continue.
it's all right. In fourth and third, it's a tight battle between Southpaw and Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Mm.
Rewatching Southpaw, Jake Gyllenhaal, another great acting performance. But I still prefer Nightcrawler, but he does a really good job in Southpaw. And there's such two completely different roles, so it just shows his versatility as an actor. Spider-Man: No Way Home, I docked it down to a 4 out of 5. Yes, I docked it down to a 4 out of 5. It was a 4.5 before. Um, it's just not my traditional Spider-Man movie. Like now that I look into Spider-Man movies, I look for like a grounded or something like that. But there's obviously not a lot of nostalgia there. Uh, and it gets like at parts that you're just rewatching it, you're like, oh, like yeah, definitely just a experience rather than actually enjoying the movie itself. And second is The Notebook. I rewatched that one as well. Great movie. Ryan Gosling built that house, man. Shout out my guy Ryan Gosling. He's great.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
in
let's get
one,
let's get him on the pod one of these days.
in the number one spot, this probably wouldn't be in the number one spot, including The Odyssey and Spider-Man: Brand New Day, but it is Interstellar. Long movie. I think I'm a little bit more with Beans on this. It's not definitely like up there, Nolan, but it's still a good movie. You got to respect it.
Yep.
Uh, it's just one of those movies that is highly received, but maybe it's just not for you.
Yeah.
But still
Um,
4.5 out of 5. So
I also just want to say because I didn't want to interrupt again because I feel like I haven't interrupted you enough. Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm not gonna lie. I got out that theater off the first watch. I thought I thought we saw the best Spider-Man movie ever, right?
same here, same here.
not too long after that, maybe a month after, I'm not gonna lie here. Actually, no, I am gonna lie. I was rewatching it. I was rewatching it, and then I was like, why? I was like, how? Oh wow! Like we gotta be close to the end now, right? Because it just felt like it's been going on forever. We were an hour into the movie. I was like, oh man. And like this is a month later, so it's not like the people that are gonna be screaming in theaters. Mind you, the screaming in theaters has to stop. I don't like that. I didn't like that for any movie. Please stop it. There's no need to do it. Anyways, so you could tell that that a lot of the people in this movie were never in the same room while recording certain scenes. You could tell it was heavily CGI reliant, heavily influenced by like having an audience reaction. Because there's certain times it would just go silent for like a second or two. The writing's not that good. The plot wasn't that good. Like, the at the ending was very good with Tom Holland Spider-Man like wanting to kill Green Goblin. But like besides that though, listen, it's cool that all the Spider-Man were on the screen, right? It's cool we got to see them all. It's cool we got to see all the villains again. But it's not that good of a movie, minus the fact that all three of them return. Like it's not a good movie. It's really not. I have it at 3 stars now. I've had it at that for like years now. And I know the point of being Spider-Man is you gotta try to save everyone. He let the Sinister Six or however many there were into his apartment with his aunt there. What did he think was going to happen? Oh yeah, I know that I was told how evil they are, but maybe they had a change of heart. Maybe they did. Surely nothing's gonna happen. Like I'm glad Aunt May died because you deserve that, Peter. Anyways. Let's go to my list now. Because I didn't watch the many movies. I watched one, two, three, four, five movies, not including Odyssey and Spider-Man. I'm gonna sit number five. I have Sicario. I will say, maybe I was just really tired when I watched it, but I was really not that much of a fan of the movie. I felt like like I didn't really care about anyone in the movie at all. Like I didn't care about the plot. I was just like, it just felt like a movie to me. It just really felt like a movie. Um, Wait, one, two, three. Actually, only watched four movies. Hand up,
It's all good, champ. All good.
hand up. Number three. Um, we're gonna go with a little Christopher Nolan movie called The Prestige. I watched this for the first time before, like a week before the Odyssey, I want to say, and wow, wow. That's all I can say. All I can say right there.
Yeah.
It was a phenomenal movie, phenomenal twist. I love the performances in it by everyone. Christian Bale was really good. Hugh Jackman was really good. Michael Caine does Michael Caine things. What else is new? Am I right? Um, yeah, and honestly, I really enjoyed the movie. Like I knew there's a twist in the movie because I got it spoiled for me. Not the
Oh,
twist
that
exactly,
sucks.
but I
Oh,
got
okay.
spoiled. I got spoiled that there was a twist, but I didn't even predict what it was going to be. I knew I was like, oh, is this a twist? Is that the twist? Is it? But then the twist happened. I was like, wow. I was like,
Yeah,
wow.
I thought the first twist, I was like, I kind of predicted that
Yeah,
twist. So I was like, oh, I'm smart.
I
And
thought
then the
I thought
second one, I was like, whoa.
yeah, the first twist. I was like, oh damn. But I was like, really? That's what it was? And I watched the movie, and then the second one happened. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh.
yeah.
Anyways, yeah, everyone did really good in that. I was a
Shout out
big fan
Jackson
of that.
Chapelski. He liked that movie too, right? You showed
Yeah,
me
he
that.
did. Jack Shapelsky, big shout out Jack Shapelsky. Hope to have you back on the pod one day. Um, I'm not gonna lie. Number one and number two could go either way. So I'm not gonna say one or two, but I'll just go through them. The Invite. This was a newer movie, just came out in theaters. Seth Rogen, Olivia Wilde, Penelope Cruz, and Edward Norton in it. Great movie. It's just them four in the apartment for an hour and a half, I think it is. It's a very funny movie. I got Nico Quando to go see it. He was on the pod too. He really liked it. It was really funny, great movie, and there's like a great story behind it too. And it kind of got emotional towards the end too. It was very good. I cannot recommend it enough. I think it's one of the better movies this year. I think it's in my top three if I remember correctly. But I definitely recommend it. Great movie, great performances from everyone. I really love when Seth Rogen like remembers he's an actor because then he just does really good at his job and it's really cool. I hope he gets an award one day. I love that man. Seth Rogen, you're my boy. Anyways, the final movie, I'm not gonna lie, I think this one was my favorite, like overall. I could see it being my favorite Christopher Nolan movie. Not the best one, not the best, but my favorite. Tenet. I think it's a phenomenal movie, 5 stars, but I don't think any movie is better than Oppenheimer and Chris Nolan's filmography. I think Tenet was phenomenal. I think it was perfectly made. The cinematography was beautiful. I think it was very well written. It wasn't hard to follow, which I thought it would be. Like I remember everyone was saying it would be like, "Oh, it's really confusing. You gotta lock in for the whole thing." But really, like if you just watched the movie, you would understand it. I think the ending was great. I think Robert Pattinson in it was great. I think John David Washington was great in it. Honestly, I can say it's about everyone again, but I think everyone did their role. Everyone did great. Great movie, great lines. Just looked beautiful too, especially, and I can't recommend that enough either. That's all the movies I watched
Good
in the
list.
month. Yeah, but it was don't get me wrong, four very good movies. I think
Yeah, it seems like.
I haven't really watched a bad movie in a minute. So
Yeah, no, it seems like you had a lot of good movies in there, a lot of different type of movies as well. But let's move on to the new Nolan movie that came out, The Odyssey. Beans, correct me if I'm wrong, but you saw it twice.
I saw it twice. I saw it in
I saw it.
IMAX and then Dolby Vision, so I get the two big screens.
I saw it twice as well. So we're gonna have a lot to say about. We're gonna go to Spider-Man Brand New Day after this because I feel like we may have more to say about Spider-Man Brand New Day. I know I do.
Probably because we just
Um,
watched it. It was like
yeah,
brand new.
and I feel like I don't know. But yes, I do have a lot more to say about Spider-Man Brand New. But first, The Odyssey. Uh Beans, I think you gave it a 5 out of 5 on the letterbox. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5.
I will say this now. Upon rewatch, I could see the 4.5 where it's coming from, and
Mhm.
honestly, I started leaning towards that way. But I think just overall, the highs were too high to make it a 4.5. I think you have to give it a 5 star. Well, I have to give it a 5 star just because some of the highs that I felt like the last 30 minutes, bro. I I used it. It was in the reclining seats. I reclined it all the way up. I was sitting like this for the last 30 minutes. I was
It's
locked in.
good. It's
I
good
was
enough.
locked in. I think the stuff with the Cyclops was beautiful, even though it was so loud. I think it was
Yeah.
phenomenal. I think every piece, like every was it New Island, it was done phenomenally. I think
Yeah, yeah.
it felt like I was on the boat some of the times. I love the choice of the siren song when he put the wax in, you couldn't hear out of the left, and when he put it in the right, you couldn't hear at all. I love how we couldn't hear it, and we just heard the score in the background. I listen, we all know the scene now with the bow at the very end.
Yeah.
Listen, I can't say enough good things about this movie. I think everyone's role in it was really good. People said Tom Holland and John Bernthal were really not that good in it. They're lying. They're lying to you, and if they ever say that to you, you can backhand them. I don't care. Because they're lying to you, because they were both great in the movie. It's not their fault that the rest of the cast are the greatest actors and actresses of like the generation. Matt Damon, Robert Pattinson, Anne Hathaway, all these people are putting on phenomenal roles. They gave the performance of a lifetime, but they do that regularly, so you can't even say it's of a lifetime because this is what they do. It's what they do. Tom Holland and John Burt, they're still great actors, and just because they're overshadowed does not mean they were bad. I don't think anyone really had a bad performance in that movie. I think everyone did great. I think Amish Patel also did great, and who I don't want to ruin this one, so I'm gonna look at the letterbox. The one who played Cersei, she did great too. I'm gonna look at the name because I don't want this. I can't be disrespecting here because that was a great performance and I thought it was like really creepy. Got me like, "Ew," you feel?
Yeah.
But yeah, and
No,
despite real quick, just despite getting hated all leading up to the movie, Elliot Page also
yeah.
in the great in the small role that he had, he did great too. And I know people are hating on that, but I really liked it. I really liked it.
I'm kind of the same way. I have a 4.5, but I could see the reasoning to being a 5. There was a lot of, obviously you mentioned all the different islands. The Cyclops scene is probably my favorite scene of the movie just because the whole the scream, the fact that how loud it was, and it actually felt like
I was
it's
there.
well not scary, but like yeah, it felt like you were there. And obviously the bow scene at the end too, and signaling to all the suitors that Odysseus has returned. The slight moment between Tom Holland and Matt Damon, where Tom Holland realizes that his father
That
has
was
returned home
beautiful,
too, that was great
phenomenal.
as well.
Also, real
Obviously,
quick, I don't again with the cutting you off thing, but that's another reason why I say people can't say that Tom Holland was bad in this movie because that scene was one of the most emotional scenes because it's him realizing and it's the you feel it's
yeah,
the everything
and it's
coming
like
together.
That too, and he really doesn't say much words, and it's gonna relate to another Spider-Man Brand New Day scene, and I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So he really
And
just put on a show this
and
past month, man.
and it was really subtle too. It was like an obvious like like it was a show
Yeah,
don't tell moment, and that was
yeah,
great. Because Brand New Days did that too, and I think it was great. I love the show don't tell. Like it shows that the writer and the directors don't think we're stupid, and we're able to like think about it from. It was a subtle moment. It was a great moment, and the actress I was thinking of, Samantha Morton, she did great. Like I think she was phenomenal. She was probably the best in that movie, in my opinion, in the Odyssey.
yeah.
He was great. And I also want to give a shout out to Sean Avery for being in the movie. Represent. Anyways,
I
what
just
else?
thought there was so many phenomenal scenes and just visually pleasing scenes as well. Just some of the or not visually pleasing, but like you kind of appreciate like the turning the men into pig scenes and how that turned out to be the Cyclops scene as well.
The Men in the Pig that made me squirm. Like that's when I was like
I just
ah
wasn't expecting that. I was like, wow, but like, I'm just appreciating greatness at the fact they were able to pull that off so well. And it
yeah
kind of just makes like everyone in the theater kind of squeal like that. In terms of like Nolan list, it's not my favorite Nolan. It's definitely up there. I think it's definitely better than Interstellar for me, but I think I was just more invested in this story, having read it back in, I don't know, a couple of years ago as well. But it was a very enjoyable Nolan movie. A very long movie, but I stayed like very attracted to the whole movie throughout the entire time,
yeah.
both
And
times.
I also need to point out this is going to be a spoiler. So if you haven't seen, if you're one of the three people in the world that haven't seen the movie yet, mute it. But the scene of when the soldiers shot down Athena's head from the statue. That was beautiful because it was for the whole movie. It kept cutting to the scene of the head falling down, rolling over on the bottom of the stairs,
Yep.
showing the scene and what the guilt is and why Zendaya was always showing throughout the movie. It's just a beautiful lead up, and it's what Christopher Nolan does great. He shows the end of the movie, but like in broken up parts,
Yeah.
and you connect the dots at the very end. You don't realize why it's being shown. You don't know why it's being shown. It leaves you confused till the very end when you see it happen, and it all just like that it snaps, it clicks in your head, and then you realize it's one of my favorite things he does, and I think that's just one of the greatest scenes I've ever seen.
Christopher Nolan is the GOAT. I'm interested. Beans, is it in your top five of Nolan? I haven't
Top
checked your
five,
list.
I believe I did put it in the top five. I think I put it pretty high. I could see it. I
Let's
could
see.
definitely see it being lowered. I'll look right now. I'll tell you for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at mine
I've been
too.
making a lot. I think I put it at three, but I think it could definitely drop. I have Inception one. I don't think it's his best movie, but I think Inception is one of my favorite
That
movies. So
yeah,
I guess
mine's
I just have to put it
Inception
there.
is one too.
I think Oppenheimer is still his greatest movie. I don't think he'll ever top Oppenheimer no matter what he does. The cast, the score, the story, the writing, just everything was just so good about that movie. I can't say enough good things about Oppenheimer.
Yeah, I just need to rewatch a lot of Nolan movies because obviously like all the Batman ones,
Yeah,
Oppenheimer
I was gonna say,
before
I'll
it.
tell you what, I gotta rewatch all the Batman movies. I still have to
Exactly.
watch Dunkirk. I still have to watch Insomnia. I have to watch
Yeah,
Memento and
me too.
Following, but
Memento I
what?
watched. That's at the bottom right now, just in the small list I have. But like obviously I haven't watched every Nolan movie yet, but right now it's Inception, number one, The Prestige is two, Odyssey, then Interstellar, and Memento, and then obviously all the Batman movies and all the uh Oppenheimer, and I probably forgetting a couple that I just
Yeah,
haven't watched yet, but like that was like pre Letterbox, obviously. So,
yeah.
but Beans, before we switch over to Spider-Man, any final thoughts on the Odyssey?
No final thoughts.
What would
It's just
you like to see from Nolan now out of him? Any other movies?
what I want to see from him. I'll be honest. I want another original story. I loved the original stories that the Nolans write are just phenomenal. I like Tenet, Inception, Interstellar, all these movies. Like they're just can't say enough good things about these movies. Like I wouldn't mind him doing like another. Like I know he wants to do a horror movie, like one of those things. Would love to see like a Dante's Inferno horror movie type of thing. But I feel like that would be like towards the end of the career. Like, I feel like he'll do if he wants to do a horror movie, it'll be like the end, like one of his final things when he already
Mhm.
solidified himself. I guess we'll like, oh, here we go. I'm fine. I'm like, listen, whatever he puts out, I'm gonna watch. Let's be real here. I'm
Yeah.
not really picky, but I'm fine with whatever. I want it to be. I want him to go back to some original stories as much as I like the last two, but we'll see what he does.
I have a greater appreciation for the original stories too, the fact that you can come up with that. type of
Yeah.
stuff, especially Inception for me. Uh, the fact that that's an original story is even more impressive than the stuff that Christopher Nolan does with like The Odyssey, for example, and Oppenheimer. But The Odyssey, if you haven't checked it out, go watch it.
Go
Great
watch it.
movie. Uh,
It'll
long
be in
movie, but
IMAX for another month and a
it's worth
half,
it.
so.
Yeah, long movie, but it is very much worth it. And another movie that you should go watch if you haven't seen, Spider-Man: Brand New Day. Again, spoilers ahead for Spider-Man: Brand New Day for those who haven't
Listen,
watched it.
and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it here. There are gonna be a lot of spoilers. We're gonna go right
Yeah,
into it.
no, we're going
Yeah,
right in.
you
Like
can't
I
talk
have a
about the
whole
movie
thing
without
listed.
spoiling it.
Yeah, no.
I just also want to start out. I don't understand how there's a world where people say there's even three better Spider-Man movies than this. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have it at my two right now. It could be recency bias. I'm gonna rewatch it soon, but I really think that this is the best live action Spider-Man representation and movie that we've gotten. I will agree with people saying that the first half is better than the second half. I agree, but I still really like the second half. I think Peter's storyline and Spider-Man's storyline is also very good. I love the dynamic between Peter and Frank. Um, Jean Grey was great in the movie. I think,
Yep.
like, I could see how people say that that role was originally meant to be like Martin Lee. I don't know if you know Mr. Negative,
Mhm.
because I there's definitely some of the mannerisms there, but like it didn't matter that much. Like Jean Grey is still like pretty similar to like in some aspects. And I really liked how that was the choice. I do think that they do use Spider-Man as a bridge to other things too much. Like they did it for the multiverse. They're doing it for the X-Men now too, because he also
Yeah.
the inhibitor that he makes to like control himself. That's one of the things they use to like inhibit the X-Men. In the future, you'll find that out. So we'll see about that. I think what they did with the Hulk was phenomenal. I do think that the Hulk shouldn't have been shown in the trailer because I think they could have shown Bruce Banner, but imagine like in the theater sitting in the theater, you don't know the Hulk's in it, and then you just see the Hulk, and then you're just like, whoa, Spider-Man versus the
Yeah.
Hulk, bro. Spider-Man versus the Hulk. And I love how they didn't make him one of the soft version that we've seen recently in like the last few movies. They shown like a killer Hulk just like going. He would have killed Spider-Man if he didn't just stop. And I love that. I love that. And I
Yeah.
know people are saying how it can't be a good movie. It's such a boring movie. The Department of Damage Control was the main villain. So? So? I think that was done great. I think that was a phenomenal choice. I think what was going in, I think going into that, I kind of knew that. I'm not gonna like because like in Wonder Man, that's kind of like the thing, anyways.
Yeah.
But like still, like you like it wasn't that hard to figure out. The Department of Damage Control, blah blah blah. He's obviously being suspicious in his first appearance in the movie. You could connect the dots, right?
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
I thought it was very predictable. I thought if you didn't know by the first act, you definitely knew it by the part where he's saying Sarah, talking to Spider-Man after he took down Jean Grey for in the middle part of the movie. In terms of rankings, I have it up there with the first two Toby movies. I'm a little in between. I definitely have to rewatch the first two Toby movies. Uh, the animated Spider-Man movies, I've gone to a point where I know that these are it's kind of like Interstellar for me. Like these are great movies, but it's just not for me. So I think that's why I have Spider-Man Brand New Day above it. Um, the big thing that like lowered my rating, but obviously it wasn't that big because Beans, you just said it. The damage control being the villain, they played it perfectly. If they didn't play that perfectly, then it probably would have lowered my rating. But I think they did a great job of having them as the villain. I would have loved to see an actual true Spider-Man villain. I feel like there's a lot of them to choose from, but it's kind of hard to do when No Way Home took five that Tom could have used.
Yeah.
There's obviously a lot more out there that he could use. Mr. Negative, you mentioned Chameleon, Craven. I feel like the Black Cat can get thrown into the mix in this trilogy, but I think they really did use the damage control as a villain well, and they played it perfectly. And having Jean Grey in there as well, introducing her character, I definitely did like the first act a lot better than the second half. I feel like the second half had a lot more Jean Grey in it, but it's
But
kind of
listen,
confusing.
I didn't mind though because I think the Jean Grey character and I think that was like very like it was very interesting and it wasn't like a
Yeah,
point. It wasn't to a point where it's like it was too much for the audience. But like I said before. I wish they stopped using Spider-Man as the bridge in the whole
yeah,
universe because this is like the third time they've done it. And like, listen, I just want to see Spider-Man. Like I appreciate this one for being more street level, and I really did enjoy that. And but I want like I know like you said the whole I was saying this before too. It's hard to do the like the classic Spider-Man villains now because they already did Vulture, they already did Mysterio. Granted, not that well, but they did it. And you can't really do a Green Goblin because obviously he knows who Green Goblin is now. Like if someone says, "Yeah, I'm Norman Osborn," he's gonna be like, "All right, pump the brakes." And if someone says, "I'm Doctor Octavius," hold on, pump the brakes. Like you can't really like he already had all the other villains. Like he's gonna know who they are. They can't you can't. It's gonna be hard to introduce new ones. But that being said, I also don't like the criticism of how the Department of Damage Control is the main villain, so it's not good. Listen, I could probably name like 100 movies if you gave me time that had like a corporation or like a department as the main villain or as like a bigger like group of people. You can't say they're bad movies just because of that. Like it's obvious. Like listen, I'm not gonna say you're stupid if you didn't notice, but it wasn't hard to figure out that Jean Grey was gonna be in the movie and that's who Sadie Sink was playing. Like like it's not the hardest thing to figure out. If you really thought that she was gonna be the main villain, like for no re like you feel, I don't
Yeah.
know. But I was a big fan of and also I think Tom Holland with this movie solidified himself as the best live action Spider-Man. Um, I would listen, I'll be honest, maybe it's because I'm a youngin and I'm not I was never really like I never thought whenever I watched I think the Toby movies are better than the Andrew Garfield movies, like as a whole. I think Andrew Garfield did a better job as Spider-Man though. They all did really good. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying,
Yeah,
oh,
no,
this
they're all
one.
great.
They all did very good.
It's hard to choose between these three, man.
But I do think, like, especially now, Tom Holland solidified himself as having the top spot. I think, like, and I'm gonna be honest, Far From Home and No Way Home did not help him at all. It's Civil War, Infinity War, the small amounts of Endgame that he's in at the end, and Homecoming. Those are those are heavy lifting for him. Like, because even that was enough to do the other two. But this movie, I'm up to here. I'm up to it's that final scene of him when he got out the hospital and while he was looking at Frank doing his thing and him just looking at the crowd cheering for him. That
Means something.
man, that means something to me, man. But I will say, if my old girl looked at me in my eyes, said, "I don't love you," and then
Oh man.
if she asked for a ride
This is the scene
back,
I was talking about.
if she asked for a ride back to her apartment, I said, "You could call an Uber on my phone. That's it. You can deal with the traffic. Walk. Take the subway." Hell no. Disrespecting me to my face. I get it though. I do get it.
Yeah.
I thought I was. I think that scene was great. Listen, when they first mentioned that Ned and MJ were going to be in the movie again, I was like, what are they doing? You can't make them forget. But I think the way they did it in this movie was great. I think the way they slowly included them back into it, I think that
They
was
didn't
done
rush
great.
into it.
They didn't at all.
They
And
didn't. They went to 4 years and he's living his life, and all of a sudden Ned runs into the shop, and then that's when he kind of resurfaces this connection with Ned and MJ, and then they kind of play it perfectly. It's not a big part of the movie because he's still trying to catch Jean Grey, and then obviously they gets more incorporated
yeah,
when MJ gets involved.
I want to say I love how they didn't make it the main focus of the movie of him like wanting them to remember. Like I think what listen, I know a lot of people hated Gene Grey for this, but the hezzy on the rooftop with MJ,
Oh man, yeah,
bro, oh my
that was
God, bro. I knew it, but like I was like, there's no way. I'm like, what? Like, there's no
yeah,
way they're
no,
doing
no.
it.
I
At
was
first,
like,
I was like,
that's
I was like,
definitely
I was
Jean
like, bro,
Grey.
no way. I'm like, there's no way we're doing it like this. There's no way. You're lying. And then when I heard Hold It, Peter, I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, I was like,
when that first happened, I was like, oh no, like he's this is so like I don't know, it was kind of predictable for me, and then
it
I was
was.
like, oh no,
I was like, there's no way they're gonna do it. There has to be like some sort of twist. Like, obviously, it's not gonna be like, oh, I saved you now. Jean Grey is still doing her thing on the thing, whatever.
yeah.
But there was like a split second. I was like, oh my God, they're actually gonna do it. Like they're just gonna forget about it, and she's gonna remember magically, blah blah blah. But I'm glad. I'm glad they did it the way they did it, and I like how they still use the letter. And when they were fighting the Hulk, and that's when she was reading it, and then she's like, "Is this true?" No, I just wrote it for fun, man. Jeez, bro.
The scene after that, where MJ falls off the building, I think that was one of my favorite scenes in the movie. Not only because Zendaya's acting was like really good in that moment, and Tom's acting was great too, where he's starting to lose it a little bit and choking her off the building. And then when she throws herself off, the action scene of him like shooting down his webs, that looks fantastic. And I think the
Yeah,
entire movie looked fantastic. Some of the swinging, the fight
looked
scenes, I
great.
think the Hulk scene, there was one specifically when he's in the hallway and like it's kind of reversing around and he's got
Yeah.
the webs and it's like cutting through his skin and then Spider-Man's looking back and that was kind of funny for me where he's like running and like looking back almost like in a comical sense. Like that was a small but great scene. I wish we could have honestly seen a little bit more of the Hulk because it just showed how much like stronger Spider-Man is than everybody else. And Tom Holland does a great job. I think, Mike, you said it perfectly. I think he's probably the best Spider-Man, the GOAT Spider-Man now. Just the director change, I think, unleashed his
Oh,
potential. And not only that, he sounds so much more like a New Yorker, and he
yeah.
has such a
No,
deeper
I,
connection with the
I'm,
community in this movie.
I'm Spider-Man. Bro, John, like we gotta check that. I don't know what he was doing because the way he made everyone think that Tom Holland had no sauce. The moment he left, Tom Holland had sauce. So what's up with that, John? Meet me in the parking lot. Marvel Studios. What was it 5:38? Meet me 7 p.m., bro. Let's go. What this, bro? Making my
Bro,
boy
he was
Tom look like
just
a clown.
the connection we had with the workers where the small stuff where he's just saying, "Oh, good job to the firefighters and the damage control officers as well." And then his
One of my
jokes when he's
favorites.
fighting.
Yeah, one of my favorites was in the earlier in the they showed this before the movie, like it was like it was like a release clip when he goes on top of the dude's car and the dude's like, "I got you, Spidey," and he
Oh
puts it in
yeah,
sports
yeah.
mode. I really like that. But I will
Yeah.
say, now that they all love Spidey and they're like outside the hospital, I wouldn't mind a movie where they kind of turn on him. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean a symbiote one would be
Yeah,
pretty cool. I think
I
that one they
think
could definitely pull off.
I think they're gonna do that in the sixth movie, Spider-Man 6. When this, I think they're gonna tease it in 5 and like lay the
Mhm.
eggs for it or plant the seeds for it, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
you don't want to
6, they're gonna
rush
pull the
into a
trigger.
movie like that. Yeah.
And like I was
Uh,
kind of that way for the Batman too. They didn't trust the Batman, and at the end you could see him as a symbol of hope. So I wanted them to do Scarecrow for the second one, so they could just take that hope and cut that. No more hope. Let them live in fear. Let them not trust the Batman. Like that would have been. Well, I'm fine. I'm excited for the Batman too. We'll get into that first. We're talking
yeah.
about Spider-Man.
But this Spider-Man right here reminds me there's one specific moment in Spider-Man 2 on the train scene where everybody sees his mask off, and at the end, obviously, he's in the hospital and he has his mask off, and people are obviously not going to say anything because they appreciate everything that Spider-Man has done, and that's kind of the same thing here. And I just love
Um,
when Spider-Man movie has a connection with the people, not only just like people living there, but the workers and the firefighters and the police officers. That's what Tom Holland had in this movie, and I don't think we've ever seen it before.
yeah, but at the same time, like I saw a bunch of people saying that the doctors probably signed the craziest NDA ever. They probably don't know who Peter Parker is though. Like realistic, like 'cause
Yeah, no.
there's like a scene like that in a line in an animated DC show where they were like everyone like was swapping bodies or something. Someone swapped bodies with the Flash, and someone's like, "It's time to see what the Flash's secret identity is." And they take the mask off, and he's like, "I have no idea who this is." Like, and I feel like that's gonna be like, yeah, they've seen him without the mask now, but like, do they like they're not gonna know he's some random kid from Queens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
But
especially more true because of the spell. Like 4 years, he hasn't been Peter Parker. He's been like working the
oh,
not even 9 to 5. Like he's been Spider-Man.
he ain't even working. He dumpster diving.
Yeah,
But I also want to say at the end, the last scene with Ned when he's doing the handshake, and he's like, Peter, like, did you think like what was your take? Did you think that that was more like a he remembers Peter from before No Way Home, like and that whole thing, or did you think of it more like a oh it's Spider-Man because MJ had him in the apartment and stuff like what did you think? Because
I think
I heard them both with.
it has to be that because I feel like the only way they could pull off the No Way Home theory is if Jean Grey is doing something with Ned and MJ's mind to regain those memories that they used to have. I just feel like, it's kind of weird
But
to
I
have
also
that,
feel like
but
that would have been
maybe I could see them
yeah.
pulling it off.
I feel like that would have been like mentioned or like shown or like teased in some way.
Yeah,
Because I know they said that she was keeping Peter alive. But like I like she would have had to go into like their minds, and she was already going upstate, so or to Charles's man, whatever you want to say. So
yeah.
like it would have been hard to do that. I really hope that's not. he remembers everything because of like the handshake. Like
Yeah,
I do wish like he read Ned the letter or he let Ned read the letter like or he got to tell Ned like
yeah, I
himself.
wish him.
And then like over time he'd like keep doing the handshake and then maybe he'd like in Spider-Man 5 he'd remember something. I feel like if they make it so he remembers it now, it's kind of like it's kind of stupid because that's like doing a random handshake with someone and you remember every member. Like, I don't know. Listen, I hope that's not the case. Like maybe if you remember some things about him, like and like it builds over time, I wouldn't mind that. But if he remembers everything right away, I don't know if I'm a fan of that.
Okay. I just have two more scenes that I want to add as well. I want to go back to the I don't love you scene where Tom Holland just sits there and you can like just by his facial reaction see
You
how
could
much that
feel,
hurt him. Yeah,
you
you
could
can see how much
feel,
that hurt him.
yeah.
It was just such a relatable Spider-Man movie too. Like just the concept of battling both Peter Parker and Spider-Man. He's trying to do too much Spider-Man and it like changes his powers. And then the last scene that I pointed out that I really loved was when he gets shot again. Spoiler warning. Sorry, it's a little bit late, but we added it before. And he's on the ground and he's talking to Jean Grey. And instead of, oh, I don't want to go, I don't want to go, Mr. Stark, he's like, Jean, you got to get out of here.
He's
Like
like, you got to get out of here.
he's kind of accepting that he might die in that moment. And that is just such a full circle moment. And wow, I mean, what a movie, man.
Yeah, and I want to add to that. That just shows how much of like how much of a Spider-Man he is. It's not like he hated Jean when she was like playing with like his emotions with that whole MJ thing, and still like I know he had the reasons to, but most people like most other superheroes like Frank Castle was trying to shoot her, but like most superheroes will not take a bullet for this person that's tortured like mentally tortured them. Yeah, I just think he like this movie more than the rest were like true Spider. I do think the best representation of him was still like in No Way Home when he was willing to like let everyone forget who he was just to like save the multiverse or whatever it was. But I think besides that, the best like it was done perfectly right here too. Like he's willing to like risk his life for someone that messed with him for so long. Like Homecoming, you could argue he left to dance with Liz to fight the Vulture. I don't count that as anything because like you ain't dating her. Let's be real. She not called Gwen Stacy. She not called Mary Jane Watson or Michelle, whatever. Anyways, but yeah, and I also do love how it's such a vocal point saying that like how MJ was telling Peter like how much like it's not his choice to make for her to forget everything and like how she was saying, you should have told me this right away. You should have told me in the coffee shop. You shouldn't have waited 5 years because I feel like maybe if he told her right after in the coffee shop, maybe it would have been different. But him waiting 5 years, he that's what he deserved. That's what like he was expecting, and I think that's why he didn't want to say it after a certain time because he knew that that would be the answer. So it's just it's it was I think that whole like the whole stuff between MJ and Peter were done perfectly. And I do love how she was like accepting to them being friends, like and him being like in the apartment and all that stuff. I liked how they did that. Listen, I think everything in that movie was one of the better live action representations of Spider-Man, or the best, as I say. I still think that the animated movies are the best, period. I know you said they're not for you, but I think Across the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man movie, hands down. Um, but I feel like it's hard to judge because you could do more stuff in animating it than you can in live action. Like the way the animated one like looks, it says you can't do stuff like that in live action, so it's like hard to compare them. But I think this live action Spider-Man of A Brand New Day, I think it was hands down the best representation we had. I think Tom Holland did great. I think John Berthal did great. I think Sadie Sink did great. I think, listen, I could go on all day. I think everyone did phenomenal in their role. I think everything was great. I think the score was great. I think the directing was great. Listen, not much more you could ask for.
Uh, th- I forgot to touch on. You think you said it, but Spider-Man and the Punisher, their duo was just funny
Yeah.
and emotional at the same sense. It was just
I
amazing to watch.
I love Frank like in like so devastated that he shot Peter, like the fear in his eyes, like
Yeah.
the regret. I love him being in the hospital. I love him and I love how like there's this one line at the end where he could show he came around on Jean when because like when Peter asked, "Where's Jean?" And Frank was like, "Oh, she just left." Like, it's like him seeing that she was keeping him alive. That just like flipped the whatever you want to say, like mindset on her or whatever. I think that was great. I think they were really funny together and they played off really well together. I do also like how people were saying like I love how different he acts with Peter than he did with Daredevil and their whole interactions. But people forget Matt Murdock is a douchebag, and it's really funny because that's what makes their dynamic really well. But this dynamic's also really good because Peter's just a pure kid, and Frank's just like ah, Punisher noise. Let me tell you. He told Peter he had to tell Peter something in this
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, tell him.
And I
Just
started
go.
clapping. I was
Just
like, oh,
go.
just go. Just that soft serve crap. Just go.
I'm
You
gonna do
know
this my
something?
way.
You know something? Just go. You know something with the soft serve crap? Just get out of here.
It was amazing. And shout out Tom Holland. I don't know if we've ever talked about this, Beans, but I think he shut down like one of the first plans for Spider-Man Brand New Day and
Oh,
actually looked through
and it
like
was terrible.
multiple
God awful.
podcasts and stuff
Get out of here.
to get a good idea of what fans wanted for Spider-Man Brand New Day, and he delivered. And then just to touch on it, we also had talked about the suit. In the movie, it looked 10 times better than it did in the trailer, and there were some scenes where it looked fantastically more better throughout the entire movie. And I know it's better than Toby's, although Toby's is good. This one's definitely better than Toby's. And I thought Andrews was the
Uh,
best, but I think this one might be the best now.
Amazing Spider-Man 2 is forever the best live action Spider-Man suit. I think it's better than the first one, but the Amazing Spider-Man 2, I just drank some Sprite, so I'm really having like it's just sitting right here, so I'm really like, woo. All right. Yeah, I don't think anything's beating that though, so but
But
I
yeah,
do think it was really good. I do think this was a close second. I think it was really a beautiful suit and it was great to look at, very visually pleasing.
I
And
love how
that
you
makes
can
me
see the
happy.
eyes too.
Yeah. I love that. And that's what like when Hulk's fighting, he's like, it's I'm your friend, and you could see the eye. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff.
yeah. Well, we'll move on from Spider-Man talk. It's been quite a while, and we'll move into the last thing to talk about. Uh, Major League Baseball, New York
Hold on,
Yankees.
we're not done yet.
What?
Speaking of
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Oh God, yeah, yeah. It just completely slipped my mind. Beans, feel free to take us away. Keeping him in the superhero talk. Thanks
speaking
for
of
reminding
Gene,
me too.
I got you. I got you. Like I had to hold
You're
everyone.
very yeah, like it's Tobey Maguire over here.
Yeah, speaking of Jean Grey and the mutants coming to the MCU, we got to talk about the X-Men and how they're finally getting cast and how they're this close to showing up. And, they got a bunch of people right now. They got Beast already. They got Rogue. They got Emma Frost. They got Jean Grey. What about some Scott Summers acting though? There's a plot where it's like a Jean Grey, Emma Frost, Scott Summers, love triangle, right? So why don't we cast this brother for Scott Summers? What's the brother gotta do, huh? What email? What's the email? Let me know. Someone slide me the email. Kevin Feige.
What's the brother got to do to get an audition?
Yo, DM us. You got me. But no, I'm actually really excited. All jokes aside, well, not joking, obviously, but I'm actually really excited for the X-Men, and I think it's about time. I think the X-Men are some of the best characters in Marvel, and I'm really excited for them to come back to the screen. I think I'm really excited for to see them in Doomsday too. I'm really excited to see the Avengers X versus like the X-Men like dynamic that's shown in the trailers. I'm a big fan of Channing Tatum's Gambit. I'm excited to see what he does with the last few bits of his character. I don't know what they're going to do because I know they're doing new X-Men, but they still got the other X-Men. So I wonder how they're going to do it. I guess we'll see in Doomsday because I think the X-Men are going to be in Secret Wars. So we'll see. I'm really excited to see what they do. I'm excited that more X-Men are coming to the MCU. And like I think all the casting so far are perfect, and I really think it's hard to find better ones. So why don't we continue that? Obviously. But no, I'm actually like really excited for that. I'm really excited for their movies, their stories, and what's gonna come. So I just want to make this quick because we got more stuff to talk about, Smitty.
Yeah, I'll just
And
add on a little bit. The last three Marvel movies have made me even more excited for Avengers Doomsday, considering that. all three have been, close to Spider-Man Brand New Day, I think was a banger. Fantastic Four was good. Thunderbolts was good. So it's been a good lead up into what we're
Yeah.
gonna have for Avengers Doomsday. The trailer seems to show like it's gonna be a good movie. I think the accent from RDJ as Doctor Doom in the beginning seems to be good. So the speculation about, oh, did they make the right choice? I think that can, further be discussed until later. But it looks like, I'm excited for this movie. Doomsday's coming. I'm excited for X-Men. Excited to see more Sadie Sink down the line because she was obviously great in Spider-Man Brand New Day. But now let's move on to Major League Baseball. Trade deadline capping up. The
Listen, listen,
Yankees.
listen, listen. I know you should never wish injury on any player, but I don't wish injuries. I wish a meteor to hit Dodger Stadium when they're playing a game, and for the entire team to get wiped off the planet Earth. But that's just me. Listen, if Terry Scribbles' elbow exploded, I wouldn't exactly cry over it.
I don't think the Dodgers would too because I think they have a lot of starters that they can use. I don't think
Listen,
they need him.
listen. If Otani got arrested because they found out he was the one gambling, I wouldn't be saying, "Oh no, we lost a pioneer of the sport." I'd be like, "Good, get him out." I don't like gambling. I don't like players that gamble on themselves and rig it. Get out. I don't like that's so stupid. God damn it, Smitty. Now there's gonna be no baseball next year because of that. And before people said, oh, but Scooble said any team could go get him. Scooble made it clear that no matter what happens, he's signing with the Dodgers in free agency. Why would people want to trade for you if you're gonna walk, bro? No one's doing that, bro. No one likes you. You are a clown. You're a clown. And I hope you get shelled. I hope you guys lose. Nobody wants to see you win. Continue.
Being a very popular point that someone pointed out. The Dodgers, they still got to play the games. They got taken to what the end of their last two outs in Game 7 last year. The game's still got to be played. Anything can happen in baseball. I know it's obviously very unlikely with the superstar team that the Dodgers have. I mean, they could roll out with Scooble, Yamamoto, Snell, and Glasnow 1 through 4 in a postseason series, but the game's still got to be played. I think there's that anything can happen in baseball, and we saw that last year with the Blue Jays taking the Dodgers to 7 games. I think we just need teams like that, scrappy teams that can maybe fight and try and take down the Dodgers. But we'll move over to the Yankees on their trade deadline accusations. Only two, and Beans, I'm excited to hear your input on what happened here with the Yankees at the trade deadline. Seems like Brian Cashman went cold here, made two moves, got Luis Garcia Jr. and Elliot Ramos from the Giants. Two bats. Garcia a lefty, Ramos a righty. Garcia hit a home run last night, but obviously didn't matter. Yankees lost that game. I think it was 13-8. But one of
Seven.
the primary needs for the Yankees was a catcher. They failed to do so. Bullpen obviously is something that you could always add to, but
No,
just two
something that
bats for this
something they
Yankees.
needed to get was bullpen arms, and it bit them yesterday. It bit them bad because they thought they could do it with what they had. So when Luis Garcia had a signature moment in the first game with the Yankees, we brought in the bullpen so they could do what? Let me guess. Give 8 runs in 1 inning. They suck, bro. They said it was stupid. They brought in a guy who could kill righties. Yay. They brought in a guy who could kill lefties. Yay. They still suck. They still have Austin Wells at catcher, who what was he at? A 520 OPS? You know what the league
Go
average
on.
is? Seven something, bro. He's 200. He's 200 away. You think he's gonna get that? No. Uh, Jazz has been underperforming this year in a contract year. He's been playing like he's never
Yeah.
played the sport before. Shortstop was a black hole for this entire season. Hopefully George Lombard can do something, but let's be real here. Every single time he's been moved up, he's shown slow signs of slowly getting used to the pitching. So I hope people don't expect a star right away because you're not going to get that. It's going to be a slow road. You have to be patient with him. You can't turn on him right away. Third base, we got what? Ryan McMahon. Great, cool. Either he does the job or he doesn't. Most of the time he doesn't, but he got a glove on him. So I guess you could little victories. The outfield was terrible for the deadline. Dominguez, thank God he got sent down because he can't put it together. You would think for someone named the Martian, who was supposed to be the next greatest thing since the wheel, you would think he'd be able to play baseball. Nope, guess not. Trent Grisham, I've been saying this since last year. He's not that great of a ball player, and he's shown it this year. He's not that good. Left field, flip a die, flip a coin. Who wants to start there? Raise your hand. All right. Spencer Jones is a good baseball player. He should have been playing over Dominguez. He should have been playing over Grisham. I still think he should. Well, whatever. Man, this team.
I just hope they don't call down Spencer Jones because he's been
Listen,
better as of recently.
if they call Spencer Jones back down, I'm just gonna wave the white flag and I'm gonna start watching
The White Sox.
The
Oh,
KBO.
never mind.
Yeah. But it's stupid. Do you think them going soft in the deadline makes like do you think that means that Judge won't be back this year? Or do you think them going soft is a way of saying that we just need someone for a little bit while we wait for Judge to get healthy?
Think it's someone for a little bit. I think actually some of the bats maybe indicates more that they worry about Stanton and just the
I
matter
think
of fact that he
the
moves and he
Luis
gets injured.
I think the Luis Garcia signing was more of a they don't think Stanton's gonna be back.
Yeah.
But I think like Ramos like them getting Ramos, I think that's like I don't know. I don't know how to see it yet because like we don't get a clear answer on Judge. I don't think we will for a while. I hope because like I don't think he's gonna be back until September, like earliest. So even then, I think he's gonna be terrible while he's getting back used to the swing of things. Then the playoffs are gonna be right there. I don't think he's gonna be like fully Aaron Judge this year at all. So maybe Ramos is their way of saying like, all right, here's a guy that we could get for the rest of the year if we need him. Because like he could hit lefties, but I mean we'll see.
That's
Because
just the
listen,
Yankees attitude now. They get guys that can hit lefties, they get guys that can hit righties, but they don't get guys that could do
they
both and play
they
every
don't
day.
they don't get guys they need. Listen, I still think Bellinger and Jones would be a very good outfield to have in like when it comes time for the playoffs. Listen, I still think their lineup could be good. I like Rice at first, Chisholm at second, Lombard maybe hopefully he's I don't maybe never mind. The more I say it out loud, the more I think this team's terrible.
Yeah, it's just a lot of pieces that are just questionable come October.
And
Third
Yanni,
base, obviously.
what makes it worse is the fact that the AL is so bad this year. Like, and if there was going to be another year to go back to the World Series, it would be this year. And they responded by making two moves at the deadline, not for a position they needed. It's mind-boggling, simply.
What are your thoughts on the Adley Rushman trade to Boston?
Listen, I think they overpaid for him, but they needed a catcher. I don't think that's going to move the needle for them. I don't think this is their year at all. I don't think Adley Rutschman is the answer anymore. I think there was a time where he was, but he hasn't been hitting to where you need him to be like hitting for him to be worth what they gave up. I don't think that he's healthy enough either. And I think this is a tremendous overpay, but listen, if it works out, then who really cares if it's an overpay? But I don't think that the Red Sox have the roster to go to the World Series for this trade to make sense for them. But I mean, we'll see. Baseball, it's a long
Unpredictable.
season. Unpredictable sport, and there's still a lot of time left, a lot of games to be played. So listen, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But the way it's been going, the Yankees are looking like they were going from running away with their division to will they even make it past the wild card?
And it's just so disappointing because you got Schlittler pitching an amazing season. You got Fried and Cole finally not injured, pitching at the same time. Rodon scheduled to come back. And then
Will
obviously
Warren's
Judge is,
been serviceable. Like he
yeah,
has his
Weathers
hiccups.
has had a couple of starts that have been pretty good, I'd say, out of the last two, I think. And obviously Judge is getting up there in age. Bellinger right now, you have him in a big contract. He's only in year two with the Yanks. And then besides that, you got a couple of young pieces, a couple of veterans, and I don't know, it just feels like the front office doesn't care as much, or I don't even know what's going on, but definitely would have loved them to see them get a catcher. A little bit happy though. I mean, that Austin Wells actually did something yesterday, so I mean, hopefully that sparks something for him. You hope
I,
it
I
sparks
was
anything, but
I was thinking this. I was thinking this yesterday. I was at work watching the game, and like like hearing that Wells, McMahon, Caballero, and Grisham were the ones to homer after like it wasn't even surprising. I was like, of course they would home. Of course the four like worst hitters on the team would be the ones to homer today, right? After everyone wanted them gone at the deadline, of course they would homer today. So now they're probably gonna have a solid series. Everyone's like, oh, maybe they're not that bad, and then they're gonna suck the rest of the year. Listen, this is what always happens. It's the Yankee way. And but listen, the Yankee way. You either have good starting and good hitting, but your bullpen sucks. Or like, listen, you don't get all three. Good bullpen, good starting, good hitting. One of them has to be down. One of them has to be down at all times. You can't get all three. And you never will get all three.
and the American League is wide open. Uh, the I think the leader in the Central is still the White Sox. The American League West is just completely up for grabs. Who
Like,
knows
who
who's going to win
cares
that
about the
division?
West? Who cares about the West?
It really just seems like it's going to be a couple of teams in the NL, the Braves, the Phillies, the Brewers that are going to be the teams that are going to have to try and take
Listen,
down the Dodgers. But
listen.
I mean,
The
I wouldn't
three
count anybody out in the American League, obviously.
there's going to be three teams that have a chance: Brewers, Dodgers, Braves. Maybe you throw the Cubs in. You don't throw the Phillies in. They don't have the lineup either. There's like three teams, maybe four. I think you can make an argument for the AL. Literally anyone could win it. The White Sox could go to the World Series. The Rays could go to the World Series. The Red Sox could go to the World Series. The Yankees could go to the World Series. Who like
Disappointing. The Yankees did call up George Lombard, as we mentioned. They
and
sent
real
down
quick,
both Volpe and Dominguez.
yeah, thank God. And Shavihi, even like granted he was good before whatever that was, but after that you have to set him down because there's no reason you should. Anyways,
Yeah,
um, the Mariners are what, one game over 500, and they're gonna make the
something like that.
playoffs. That's so stupid. I think you forget it. I think this goes for all sports. Forget about divisions. Who cares? You could still have them just to say who faces who, and maybe it could be the tiebreak for the play. I don't care. There's no reason a team that's one or two games over 500 should like be a higher seed than a team that's like 14 games over just because they lost their division. That's really stupid. And I'm going to say that same thing for last year too. Yankees were the second best team in the AL, but had to face the best team because what of the divisions? That's stupid. That's really stupid. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah,
I,
we'll
I
see
said
what
this in
happens.
I said this in 2020 for the NFL too, when some god awful NFC East team could make the play. Listen,
Yeah,
even when it was the Giants that could have made it possible. Like this is stupid. No one wants to see these teams in the playoffs. I know the Washington football team had a good performance against the Bucks, and like that was a great moment for Taylor Heineke, I think it was.
yeah,
But who cares? Who cares? They're not winning the Super Bowl. Like who cares? Anyways, that's all I was saying.
yeah. Yankees calling up Lombard. They
Thank
got
God.
Dominguez sent down,
Yep,
Volpe
thank
sent
God.
down,
Thank God.
added Ramos to the added Ramos to the MLB roster. They are in the midst of a three-game series against the St. Louis Cardinals at home. But Beans, that's gonna do it for a little talk about the Yankees and the deadline. We'll be back at it with them eventually down the road, probably more towards the postseason. We'll probably bring them back up again. But that's gonna do it for today's episode. A great episode talking about movies. So we were on a high note there, especially with talking about the Odyssey and Spider-Man brand today, but then kind of brought out on a low note talking about the New York Yankees. But hopefully they can get our spirits up. But anything else to add before we sign off?
Kevin Feige, if you want to email me, just swipe up or something. Just like,
Drop your email down below. Drop
yeah,
your
yeah,
email.
yeah. DM us on something. You know what, Kevin Feige? I'll reach out to you, my brother. Yeah,
Make it easy for him
yeah. I'll make it easier. Not like I emailed him already.
multiple times,
Yeah.
once a day.
Anyways, shut. Don't blow my cover, bro. Anyways, you got anything to add?
No, it's a fun episode. Happy to be back.
Pew pew. Bye.